I came from a small town with big dreams and found myself face to face with the harsh realities of acting in New York City. I discovered it takes deep commitment to pursue a career in acting. I encountered countless setbacks and disappointments, but I kept going in the face of adversity. Hi, I'm Jill Dalton, a working actor living in New York City. Welcome to my channel where I share insights, inspiration, audition tips, practical career advice, lessons I learned, and a behind the scenes look at show business. Thanks for being here. Damon said, the business isn't made for you to succeed. You have to break through it. The business constantly rejects you, and you need to be impervious to that. Ben and Matt called it, okay, thanks. Matt gave the example of working for 3 days on a script that was very emotional and intense. And then when he finished, the casting person said, okay, thanks. So Matt Damon decided he would work harder than anyone else. My therapist used to say to me, because I would go into an audition and they would rave and rave and rave and then crickets. So my therapist would say, great feedback, no feed. Also, agents were always like, let me know when you're in something. When I came to New York City in 1978 from South Carolina, I had no idea what it takes to become an actor. I had some idealized notion from black and white movies like Stage Door, All About Eve, A Star is Born. I visualized standing ovations, curtain calls, opening night parties, evening gowns, staying up late for the early morning reviews, being in a hit Broadway show, and I jumped right in. I started auditioning, making the rounds, and all the agents and casting directors' doors were locked with signs that read, no admittance, do not knock, not accepting resumes, go away. That didn't deter me. I got up bright and early every Tuesday morning to purchase my copy of Backstage. I circled any parts I was remotely right for. I was so crazed, I even went to musical auditions. I didn't care, and somehow I made the cut in the dance audition and was asked to come back and sing. I didn't have a song or music. I sang a cappella. It was ridiculous. I tried to audition for Moon for the Misbegotten, and the guy was like, no, you're not the right type. And I'm arguing with him, but I can play the part. I was just putting myself out there any way I could. You also needed to be in the union to get a job. Equity was on strike. So I focused on theater auditions and was cast in 2 plays on the same day. And I did this off-Broadway play, The Man Who Was Dracula, about Bela Lugosi. And I was Mrs. Bela Lugosi. I thought, well, this New York acting thing is a breeze. Nothing could deter me. I didn't care that New York was crack infested, dangerous, and bankrupt. I was living the dream. I just kept temping, auditioning, taking acting and dance classes. It took me 2 years to get my AFTRA card. And anyone could get an AFTRA card. Just had to pay your money. It took me 6 years to get my SAG card. 6 years to book my first role in a major motion picture. I kept doing showcases. Father Uxbridge Wants to Marry. The production was fabulous, and we got a great review from John Simon, but there was no money to move it off Broadway, and I was so disappointed. It seemed like nothing was connecting for me. Then I got cast in To Be Young, Gifted, and Black, and I understudied Elizabeth McGovern. She had just done Ordinary People. I went on for her one night, and the next day I got a call from a top agent who had seen my performance, and he said he wanted to represent me. I was thrilled. Now, Exxon put up the money to move our play off Broadway, but there weren't any theaters available. So after 6 months, Exxon pulled their money, and the powerful agent from the top agency pulled his offer to represent me. He said, I can't rep you now because I don't have a way to introduce you to the industry. But don't worry, I know you're going to be successful. Heartbreak. Decision. I've been in New York for 3 years. Do I keep going or cut my losses and move on? Now, a little later, I'm going to give you some guidelines that will help you make a decision like that. I didn't take these guidelines into account when I was starting out because I didn't know about anything like that. I had so many setbacks. So many times I just wanted to quit. It was like being a boxer and you're in the ring and you're doing really well and then whack. And you have to decide, do I get up? Do I keep going another round? Or do I just give up, go home? I refused to quit. So I committed on a deeper level. I switched my focus from theater to the soaps. Lots of famous actors started out on the soaps. Brad Pitt, Kevin Bacon, Demi Moore, Alec Baldwin, Leonardo DiCaprio, Julianne Moore. I worked my way up from doing extra work, which means no lines, to day player, doing scenes with the queen of soaps, Susan Lucci. Then out of the blue, my husband decided to go to law school and told me that I was going to support him. He even found me a job in the garment center for a new company that needed a sales rep. Well, I didn't want to do that. I knew that was suicide for me. But I told myself, okay, this is for our future. Plus, he promised to return the favor by supporting me so I could do my acting full time. I begrudgingly put my career on hold for 4 years to put my future ex-husband through law school. I don't recommend this. It will not end well for you. It will end well for them, though. After my husband passed the bar, he informed me he was moving to Hollywood to be a motion picture producer. Around the same time, I was fired from that lucrative job in the garment center that he found me, and I had no contact, no agents, no nothing. I was alone, 40, unemployed. Now what? I was barely able to function. I'd been in therapy. My therapist sent me to 12-step. So I was doing adult children of alcoholics meetings on a regular basis. And I discovered that the biggest block to my success was that I was an overachieving, people-pleasing, codependent with low self-esteem. That's a lot to dig out from under. But I did it. I spent 5 years sobbing in codependency meetings because my life sucked. Again, I'm at a crossroads. Do I give up on acting altogether or do I commit on a deeper level? I was so disheartened and angry. I decided, well, why not try stand-up comedy? So I did. I was doing stand-up. I was working part-time at the front desk of an aerobics studio. And around that time, I booked a recurring role in Another World. I also won the Mary Jo Comedy Show Award for stand-up comedy. My life was turning around. Things were looking up, but the OJ trial knocked all the soaps off the airways, and there went my soap job. Then the aerobic studio went out of business. I had done stand-up for 4.5 years. I didn't make any money. I was $20,000 in debt. A fellow stand-up explained the 3 rules of show business to me. 1, nothing's fair. 2, nothing makes any sense. 3, nothing matters. Again, should I make a deeper commitment to stand up? So I'm writing my morning pages. When the words come out of my pen and onto the page. Wait, what? No, 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 no. No, 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 absolutely not. No, but I was out of options. I swallowed my pride and began doing, yeah, I know, horrifying. I had to let go of all my preconceived ideas about how things should look. I took any job I was offered, and I started working a lot. Film, TV, commercials. I was on sets 3 to 5 times a week. The business became a reality to me, not some starry-eyed childhood dream I had about show business. I did have to humble myself, leave my ego at home, and show up on set with a great attitude no matter what. Ready, willing, and able to work. 5 a.m. call times, not a problem. 14-hour days, sure. Friday nights starting at 6 p.m., getting home at 8 a.m. Saturday morning. Bring 3 wardrobe changes. Show up hair and makeup ready. Work in the blazing sun, pouring rain, freezing cold on the streets of New York City. One of my first background jobs was the Julia Roberts, Mel Gibson film, Conspiracy Theory. It was the dead of winter. It was super early, pitch black dark outside, and the holding where they keep the background actors was freezing. I didn't know anyone, so I'm sitting there with my eyes closed. And I began eavesdropping on a group of actors, and they're talking about getting their insurance and pension credits. So I go, excuse me, are you saying you can get your health insurance by doing extra work? Yes, that was it. I made a commitment to follow this path wherever it goes. And extra work changed my life. I learned so much. I met so many people. I was given auditions, parts, upgraded on sets. I did stand-in work a lot, and it all came from doing extra work. Being on set was my second home. I felt relaxed and comfortable there. I knew how things work. Film and TV sets are run a lot like military installations, and I grew up in the military, so this was familiar to me. Now, everyone's path is different. Yours will be completely different than mine. And as you travel your acting path, you'll come across many crossroads and you'll need to make a decision to stay or go. So here's some tips on how to decide. First, does acting serve you? Does it bring value into your life? Does it make you happy? Do you enjoy doing it? Two, keep your commitments that you make to yourself. Let's say you promised yourself, okay, I'm going to try this for 5 years. If it doesn't work out, I'll move on. So you have to do it for 5 years because you want to stick to your commitments. Three, think of things that you look forward to. For me, it was being in class, doing scene study and working on great parts, Blanche Dubois, Lady Macbeth, and doing plays. Put my focus on that. Also, break down things into smaller tasks. This way, you're not overwhelmed. For example, if you need an acting reel, you got to look at what you have and then go from there. Do I need to come up with a monologue that I can add? And just take one action a day for your art. Five, stop focusing on some huge goal like I'm going to win an Academy Award. Yeah, which is great, and I hope you do. Instead, focus on the process. Think of the progress that you've made and be proud of yourself for what you've accomplished and be kind to yourself and to others. Because let's face it, acting isn't an easy job. The odds are against us, and most people aren't willing to put in the time and energy and work and effort necessary to get what they say they want. Like Matt Damon said, he'd work harder than anyone else. He kept getting callbacks, but not booking. So he and Ben Affleck decided to write their own movie. You're probably going to lose people along the way who don't support your dream. I lost friends, a husband. It's painful, but not everyone is going to share your dream. Is it worth it? Takes sacrifice, overcoming our fears, and commitment, a lot of commitment. Good luck on your journey, and please leave your comments below. Thanks so much.